indifferent to the perils to which the audacious overtures of that silly little child might expose you? Hold! Since you introduce the subject of perils, it perhaps does not misbecome me to say that my most imminent perils come from yourself, or at least would come if I believed in your love and accepted your addresses. Your father has told me plainly that in that case I should be consumed into a cinder with as little compunction as if I were the reptile whom Taee blasted into ashes with the flash of his wand. "Do not let that fear chill your heart to me," exclaimed Zee, dropping on her knees and absorbing my right hand in the space of her ample palm. "It is true, indeed, that we two cannot wed as those of the same race wed; true that the love between us must be pure as that which, in our belief, exists between lovers who reunite in the new life beyond that boundary at which the old life ends. But is it not happiness enough to be together, wedded in mind and in heart? Listen, I have just left my father. He consents to our union on those terms. I have sufficient influence with the College of Sages to ensure their request to the Tur not to interfere with the free choice of a Gy, provided that her wedding with one of another race be but the wedding of souls. Oh, think you that true love needs ignoble union? It is not that I yearn only to be by your side in this life, to be part and parcel of your joys and sorrows here. I ask here for a tie which will bind us for ever and for ever in the world of immortals. Do you reject me?" As she spoke she knelt, and the whole character of her face was changed. Nothing of sternness left to its grandeur. A divine light, as that of an immortal, shining out from its human beauty. But she rather awed me as an angel than moved me as a woman, and after an embarrassed pause I faltered forth evasive expressions of gratitude, and sought as delicately as I could to point out how humiliating would be my position amongst her race in the light of a husband who might never be permitted the name of father. "But," said Zee, "this community does not constitute the whole world. No, nor do all the populations comprised in the League of vril-ya. For thy sake I will renounce my country and my people. We will fly together to some region where thou shalt be safe. I am strong enough to bear thee on my wings across the deserts that intervene. I am skilled enough to cleave open, amidst the rocks, valleys in which to build our home. Solitude and a hut with thee would be to me society and the universe. Or wouldst thou return to thine own world above the surface of this, exposed to the uncertain seasons, and lit but by the changeful orbs which constitute by thy description the fickle character of those savage regions? I so speak the word, and I will force the way for thy return, so that I am thy companion there, though, there as here, but partner of thy soul, and fellow traveller with thee to the world in which there is no parting and no death." I could not but be deeply affected by the tenderness, at once so pure and so impassioned, with which these words were uttered, and in a voice that would have rendered musical the roughest sounds in the rudest tongue; and for a moment it did not occur to me that I might avail myself of Zee's agency to effect a safe and speedy return to the upper world. But a very brief space for reflection sufficed to show me how dishonourable and base a return for such devotion it would be to allure thus away from her own people and a home in which I had been so hospitably treated, a creature to whom our world would be so abhorrent, and for whose barren, if spiritual love, I could not reconcile myself to renounce the more human affection of mates less exalted above my erring self. With this sentiment of duty towards the Gy combined another of the duty towards the whole race I belonged to. Could I venture to introduce into the upper world a being so formidably gifted, a being that with a movement of her staff could in less than an hour reduce New York and its glorious Koom-Posh into a pinch of snuff? Rob her of her staff? With her science she could easily construct another. And with the deadly lightnings that armed the slender engine her whole frame was charged. If thus dangerous to the cities and populations of the whole upper earth, could she be a safe companion to myself in case her affection should be subjected to change or embittered by jealousy? These thoughts, which it takes so many words to express, passed rapidly through my brain and decided my answer. "Z," I said, in the softest tones I could command, and pressing respectful lips on the hand into whose clasp mine vanished. "Z, I can find no words to say how deeply I am touched, and how highly I am honored, by a love so disinterested and self-immolating. My best return to it is perfect frankness. Each nation has its customs. The customs of yours do not allow you to wed me. The customs of mine are equally opposed to such a union between those of races so widely differing. On the other hand, though not deficient in courage among my own people, or amid dangers with which I am familiar, I cannot, without a shudder of horror, think of constructing a bridal home in the heart of some dismal chaos, with all the elements of nature, fire and water and mephitic gases, at war with each other, and with the probability that at some moment while you were busied in cleaving rocks or conveying vril into lamps, I should be devoured by a krek which your operations disturbed from its hiding place. I, a mere Tish, do not deserve the love of a Gy so brilliant, so learned, so potent as yourself. Yes, I do not deserve that love, for I cannot return it." Z released my hand, rose to her feet, and turned her face away to hide her emotions. Then she glided noiselessly along the room and paused at the threshold. Suddenly, impelled as by a new thought, she returned to my side and said in a whispered tone, "You told me you would speak with perfect frankness. With perfect frankness, then, answer me this question. If you cannot love me, do you love another?" "Certainly I do not." "You do not love Taee's sister?" "I never saw her before last night." "That is no answer. Love is swifter than vril. You hesitate to tell me. Do not think it is only jealousy that prompts me to caution you. If the Tur's daughter should declare love to you, if in her ignorance she confides to her father any preference that may justify his belief that she will woo you, he will have no option but to request your immediate destruction, as he is specially charged with the duty of consulting the good of the community, which could not allow the daughter of the vril-ya to wed a son of the Tisha, in that sense of marriage which does not confine itself to union of the souls. Alas, there would then be for you no escape. She has no strength of wing to uphold you through the air. She has no science wherewith to make a home in the wilderness. Believe that here my friendship speaks, and that my jealousy is silent." With these words Z left me. And recalling those words, I thought no more of succeeding to the throne of the vril-ya, or of the political, social, and moral reforms I should institute in the capacity of absolute sovereign. Chapter 26.